Hello guys, in this section I want to talk about keyword arguments. We talked about function, what is the function and how we can use them. So now let's go and talk about keyword arguments. Let's define a simple function here. The name of the function is my function, and simply I want to have name as an argument here and print it out in our output. So if I call this function with any name, it will return the or print the name for us. Okay, so we can have it in our output. I want to have another argument here with the name message, and I want to have initial value for that. So let's keep it simple for now, and let's have message here. If I run the code, you can see we are facing an error. Why? Because it's returning you have two arguments here, but you are passing one when you are calling the function. So let's call another argument, for example hi here, and the output will be hi Hussein. Everything is okay. I want to have initial value for the message here, message variable that we have, or message argument. We can simply have it like this. After message I'm putting equal and the initial value, it will be high. Now if I run this, you can see we don't have any issue. We having two arguments here, but we are passing one to the function call. As we have initial value for the message, we are not facing any issue here. So we can simply say hi Hussein in our output, but we can override this message value with any value that we want. For example, hello, and as you can see, it will be override by hello. So if a variable, an argument, has an initial value, if we don't pass it to the function, the initial value will go and all the codes in the function will execute with the initial value. But if we pass anything like here, it will be override. Now instead of hi, we have a hello for the message. Okay, so let's have another example here. Def, again my function with the same arguments and again with the same codes. So I want to call this function. Like before, we have something like this, my function. Let's also copy and paste it here. So another way that we can call this function and pass the argument is to write the name of the argument for each of them. For example, this is our name. Okay, we can simply write here name equal to same, and if I run this, you can see we are facing some issue. Why? It's saying so please have something here for me and write this second name also for me here. And as you can see here, the output will be same. I'm writing the name of the arguments here to pass the value to the function. So let's assume that we have a function that the function is order coffee, and it has two parameters, the size. That size has initial value of medium, and the type, that's it, for example latte. Okay, and I just want to print the order is type with size. I want to have something like this here. So simply, if I call this function without any input or any argument like this, what will happen? As we have the initial values here, it won't show us any error, and it will go through the function code and it will execute with the initial values that we have. Also, we can override any of them, like for example large. Let's see what will happen right now. And as you can see, I'm just passing the large here. And size changed to large here. The first one, the size, right now has a large value, and we are not passing a second parameter, I mean the type here, and it will go through the function codes with the initial value for type. And also we can have it right now, for example x, and as you can see in our output we have it. So let's assume we have a function. We don't know how many input parameters and argument we have, but we want to show it to the output and to the users. How we can handle that? We don't know how many argument that we have. We don't know what are them at all. So let's define a function, my function. We can simply do that with here in the input, and instead of arguments names that we wrote before, we can simply have star kw args keyword arguments, something that we want to talk about from this start, and I just want to have a for loop in these arguments. How we can handle that? For key and value that we have in keywords dot item, just please print for me the key and, for example, value. It should be key here. And if I call this function, my function, for example, name, and after that we want to have family, we want to have age, and let's go and run this. As you can see, name, family, and age. We don't know, maybe we have another function call after that, and after age, for example, we have detail, and detail is, or for example, is married, true. Okay, we can have this. We just have one function, but as you can see, for the first call we have name, family, and age, and for the second we have name, family, age, and is married. We are passing keyword arguments. We don't know how many arguments that we want to pass, but we just want to show to the user or do anything with them. We can do that, receive the arguments like this with the star and kw args, keyword arguments, and we should write a loop through the keyword arguments that we have, because we may have 2 arguments, 3 arguments. If we have just one, so it's okay. It's okay to don't have a for loop. But we may have more than one argument. It's the reason that we are writing for loop. Let's have one, just one argument here, and we don't want to write any for loop here, and we just want to print these keyword args, and let's see what we have in the response. As you can see here, it's an object that we have here. But if we want to show it like before, we should again go through that and like a for with key and value and simply print that, or do anything that we want with the arguments that we want. So that's it for the keyword arguments. Right now we know how to initial argument for a specific function and use keyword arguments, and I talked about the types that we can call a function that has initial value and for a function that doesn't have initial value in the arguments.